Tiny Rebel, they need no introduction. They're one of the biggest and more established craft beer brewers in the country. But can this key lime lager taste any good? Check out the review to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing this beer. It's from Tiny Rebel. It's a key lime lager. It's a lager with key lime. It's 4.8% and it's part of the Beer52 Awards 2020. Now they've won the best award, or the award for 2020 for the People's Choice. Obviously I think a lot of people have had a Tiny Rebel. Maybe a lot of people have tried this beer before. I've never tried it. I've tried quite a few Tiny Rebels. In fact, one of the first reviews on this channel was the Tiny Rebel Mango Showdown, I think it was called. And I quite like that, but it was pretty much my introduction to craft beer. I'm sure there's a lot of people there that have had your Cali Pao, your Club Tropicana, all those sort of beers. And they're in the supermarkets. They're well established. But I do wonder whether that they're becoming too big. Are they another brew dog in waiting? Has their quality dipped because they're basically supplying a lot of beer for supermarkets? So key lime lager, obviously from Beer52. So it's not. I haven't got this one from the supermarket. I think it's probably available in the supermarkets, although I haven't seen this one. And I'm expecting pretty much what it says on the tin. I'm sure we've all at one point or another had a lager and lime. Certainly was a big drink, when I was at college. And it's, when you want something a bit more refreshing, then a bit of lime in your lager is good. But this says key lime, so I wonder if it's going to be more fresher. You can see beer in a glass. Looks like a lager. We've got a soapy white, one finger white head. It's pretty clear. The carbonation, it's quite slow moving actually. Expected it to be a lot more, much more higher in carbonation. But let's get some aromas. Yeah, that's really strong lime, but very much in that sort of lime cordial sort of aromas. I don't think you could ever say that smells like fresh limes. Really, really. Really strong smelling, like a lime cordial. I don't know whether it says what it says on here, whether it says anything about golden pale, nose key lime, taste citrusy. No, it doesn't actually say whether it's. I expect it has though. I expect it's lager and they've put a bit of lime cordial in it. So let's get some taste, shall we? Cheers, everyone. It's got a real nice mouthfeel. It's not overly gassy, it's not overly carbonated, but the lime is very, very dominant. It's not, to me, I've just had one sip of that and I've taken quite a big glug of it. So, but the lime is really, really strong in this, and it is. It's a lime cordial. So lager and lime. You've had it in a pub. It almost tastes more like their sort of top deck lager and lime, though. Yeah, it's very, very difficult that you could actually taste the lager in it. I know lager's not got a necessarily strong taste, but you can't get those nice sort of malts that you get. You don't get that breadiness. It's so overpowered with lime. But again, I think I've said it a couple of times this month. This is a fantastic beer for drinking in the summer. Really easy drinking, very light, refreshing with a nice bit of zinginess of that sort of lime. Although it is very strong and very sort of artificial in terms of it being more like a lime cordial than fresh lime. But you'd knock back these so quickly. Certainly, outside in the sun, barbecue. When you want something a bit more fruity, but maybe you don't want to go towards a cider that's which a lot of people drink in the summer more, then this is a great alternative. It's very light. It's very, you can't taste any sort of strength in there. It almost tastes like a a lager and lime shandy more than a lager and lime in terms of the beer on its own. But it's nice. It's pleasant. I mean, it's just it's a little bit to me. Average, not the word. What's the word I'm looking for? Safe. It's lager and lime. It tastes. To be honest, as well, it doesn't. With a craft beer, you can taste that. There's love and sweat and blood and tears gone into it. With this, I don't know what it is, but it tastes like a beer that's been manufactured on a mass scale. There's nothing wrong with it, and it. As you say, it's a nice colour. It's got its heads retained there. It's got no sort of funny tastes and stuff. Sometimes mass-produced stuff, you get that sort of almost like that can type of taste to it. Tastes nice and fresh, but it's just safe. It's just very sort of it's lager with lime in it. That's what it is, and it's not necessarily a really great lager. It's just a nice beer. So I think I've had enough. I think I've not had enough because I can easily down a bit more of this. But I think I've tasted enough to give the scores. There's not much to it. It's lager and lime. What else is there to say? But let's get some scores then, shall we? Okay, the scores are in for the Tiny Rebel Keyed Lime Lager. I mean, it's a lager and lime. There's nothing more you can really say to it. Aroma-wise, first category. I mean, the lime is really, really strong. It does taste like it's got a good double or triple shot of lime cordial in a, to some extent, a very average lager. You can't even really get any sort of lager. The lime is so overpowering. But nice lime, if you like lime. It's a nice aroma. I'm giving it 13 out of 20. Appearance-wise, well, I think it's a pretty nice clear lager. It's got a little bit of lace in there. The head's pretty much retained. It's not overly carbonated. It's and it looks pretty good. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Flavour. As I said, it's not overly carbonated, but the lime is so dominant is that you can't get beyond that and find out, well, is it a good lager or not? It just tastes like it could, it could be a Foster's with lime in it. It really could be. The lime overpowers it, and it doesn't really matter what it is underneath it. It's difficult to really sort of review the lager part of it, as it were. I mean, but as I say, it's not overly gassy. But it's not got any sort of real sort of maltiness to it. There's not the sweet, any sort of sweetness or anything that you can sometimes get from those sort of the malts that you find in lagers and pilsners are sort of hidden because the lime is so dominant right at the front, all the way through, and at the end as well. It's a lime, fizzy lime drink with a slight hint of lager in it. So flavour wise, I'm giving it a 28 because I think it's. I could have poured out a Foster's and I could have stuck a couple of shots of lime cordial and it wouldn't taste hugely different than this. Value for money, it's a free 30ml can, and it's obviously, I paid £3 if you work it out, 24 quid from Beer52, 8 cans, that's £3. I'm sure you can buy that for cheaper than that. I'm sure I've seen it in supermarkets for £2.20 or something like that. So, but even at that sort of price, it's still, I don't think it's great value. It's just a lager with lime in it. So I'm giving it 7 out of 10. And then my overall experience and enjoyment of it, well, I mean, summertime, ice cold, knocking back a few of these. You want something, you want a lager, you don't want a cider, you don't want to have some sort of alcopop or something like that, but you want something with a bit of sweetness in it and a bit more zestiness in it. This does the job, but it's not something that you can sit and enjoy, a one-off sort of thing. There's not enough flavour. It's like lime. It's fizzy lime with a sort of background of lager in it. That's all I can say. So I'm giving it 12. I think that's a reasonable score because it's not horrible, but it's just, if you don't like lime, you hate this. And it has that lime is very sort of artificial. So that's 12 for overall experience. So we top those scores up, we're getting a 68. It's by no means a bad score, but, is it recommended? I think we've got to get to a point now where you've got to get over 70 to be in the sort of beer that you would drink again. I wouldn't probably go and buy this again. I would think you'd be better off, if you like lager and lime, you'd be better off finding a lager that you really like. I mean, the Aldi ones that I really like, you know, are a lot cheaper. You can buy 4 cans for the same price as one of those, and I'd buy 4 cans of that. And buy a bottle of lime cordial and just stick a little bit of that in there, because you'd be controlling the level of lime. This is too limey, if that's a word, and I want more lager than lime, and you know, and I'm missing out on that. So 68, I wouldn't try. I don't think I'd want to drink it again. Would I recommend it to others? There's a lot more better beer out there than this. Tiny Rebel, though. I mean, what do we think about Tiny Rebel? I'm interested to know what other people's comments are. As I said, the Mango Showdown, I remember tasting it, was good, but again, if I remember rightly, it almost was artificially mango. It's almost like we create this beer, but it's a bit bland on its own, so we need to do something with it, or we'll stick some sort of, you know, extra fruit extracts of it just to give it a little bit more flavour. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been drinking craft beer long enough to know, you know, what Tiny Rebel were like before. We did have a Tiny Rebel and Polly's collaboration, which was available in supermarkets in Tesco in the summer, and that wasn't bad. But I'm interested. You know, what do you think of Tiny Rebel? If I was going to pick a Tiny Rebel beer, which is the best one to have? I mean, I know they do a few different stouts, the Stay Puft type of stouts as well, but I'm interested to know, what do you think of Tiny Rebel? What beer would you recommend I try from them? Obviously, they're the people's choice, because I think a lot of people know about them, and if you're just starting off in your craft beer journey, it's not a bad starting point. Maybe as well, a lot of people are saying that the beer that they've had on draft in tap rooms is pretty damn good. But this one, yeah, I'm not gonna want to drink it again. But there's plenty more beer to drink. We've still got a few more left in the Beer 52 box. So until the next video, you know what you need to do. You need to keep on rocking.